Welcome to our art journey. Paul Cézanne. Known for his unique brushwork and innovative compositions, Cézanne transformed how we see color and form. Join us as we explore the 10 most famous paintings by this iconic artist, revealing the stories and techniques behind each masterpiece. Let's get started. The Large Bathers. Among Paul Cézanne's most celebrated works is The Large Bathers, a painting that exemplifies his unique approach to composition and technique. This monumental oil-on-canvas work, created between 1898 and 1905, is housed in the Philadelphia Museum of Art. It is the largest of Cézanne's series of Bathers paintings and is considered one of the masterpieces of modern art. The painting depicts a group of nude women in a serene landscape, with the figures arranged in a symmetrical triangular pattern that echoes the natural surroundings. Cézanne employed his characteristic hatching technique to render the ground, water, trees, and sky, achieving a delicate balance between the vigor of the bodies and the restfulness of the setting. The abstract nudity and the deliberate arrangement of the figures give the painting tension and density, reflecting Cézanne's lifelong exploration of the subject. The work is notable for its influence on early 20th century art, particularly Cubism, and has been cited as an inspiration by artists such as Henri and Pablo Picasso. The Basket of Apples. Paul Cézanne's mastery of still-life compositions is exemplified in The Basket of Apples, a painting that, like The Large Bathers, showcases his ability to balance formal structure with naturalistic depiction. Created around 1893, this oil-on-canvas work belongs to the post-impressionist movement and is part of the Art Institute of Chicago's collection. In The Basket of Apples, Cézanne employs a distinctive technique of distorted perspectives to create a complex visual experience. The painting features a tilted table devoid of right angles, with a basket full of apples leaning forward, seemingly supported by a bottle and folds of the tablecloth. Heavy brushstrokes and glowing colors add density and dynamism to the composition, challenging traditional linear perspective. Cézanne's innovative approach influenced subsequent art movements, including Fauvism and Cubism. Artists such as Pablo Picasso and Georges Braque credited Cézanne with breaking the rigid rules of perspective, paving the way for more radical artistic expressions. The painting's balanced composition, despite its unbalanced parts, demonstrates Cézanne's skill in creating harmony parallel to nature, rather than imitating it. Mont Sainte-Victoire, Scene from Bellevue. Mont Sainte-Victoire, Scene from Bellevue, is one of the numerous paintings dedicated to Mont Sainte-Victoire, a mountain near Aix-en-Provence that captured Paul Cézanne's imagination. Created around 1886, this landscape painting is part of Cézanne's extensive series on the mountain, showcasing his unique perspective and artistic style. Cézanne had a special affinity for Mont Sainte-Victoire, and his house in Bellevue provided him with a constant view of the mountain. This particular painting features not only the mountain, but also the railway bridge on the Aix-Marseille line at the Arc River Valley. The composition exemplifies Cézanne's method of rendering order and clarity to natural scenes without compromising on optical realism. The light and colors of the painting give the impression of a natural pattern, rather than one imposed on nature. Located in the Barnes Foundation, Pennsylvania, this oil-on-canvas piece measures 73 cm 92 cm. It reflects Cézanne's ongoing engagement with Impressionism, while also hinting at a shift towards a more structured and geometric approach to landscape painting. Pyramid of Skulls. Cézanne's interest in skulls has been interpreted in various ways. Some see it as a reflection of his obsession with mortality, particularly following the death of his mother in 1897. His personal struggles and declining health during this period likely influenced his fascination with skulls as subjects. Others argue that Cézanne was attracted to the volumetric forms of skulls, much like he was to fruits and vases, highlighting their aesthetic appeal rather than their symbolic meaning. Regardless of the interpretation, Pyramid of Skulls remains a striking piece in Cézanne's oeuvre, showcasing his innovative approach to perspective and color. The painting's stark contrast between pale light and dark background further underscores its emotional and visual impact, making it a standout work among Cézanne's late-period still lifes. The Card Players, one of the most celebrated works in Paul Cézanne's oeuvre, The Card Players, marks a pivotal moment in his artistic career. This series consists of 5 oil paintings that capture Provençal peasants engaged in quiet, intense games of cards. Unlike traditional depictions of card games as rowdy and decadent, Cézanne's portrayal is characterized by restraint and concentration. The subjects, often farmhands who worked on the Cézanne family estate, are shown deeply absorbed in their game, their faces reflecting a profound and contemplative mood. Cézanne's approach to this genre scene was innovative. He studied each figure independently before combining them into multi-figure compositions. The result is a harmonious balance between the figures and their surroundings, with a palette dominated by earthy tones and a focus on geometric forms. The Card Players is considered a cornerstone of Cézanne's art during the early 1890s and a prelude to his final years, when he produced some of his most acclaimed work. Today, it is celebrated as a masterpiece of post-impressionism, offering a tranquil and introspective view on a time-honored pastime. Apples and oranges. The still-life compositions of Paul Cézanne often featured everyday objects such as fruits, and among these, his depictions of apples are particularly renowned. In Apples and Oranges, created around 1899, Cézanne presents a visually complex arrangement that challenges traditional still-life conventions. The painting features a table covered with 3 draperies, 2 multicolored fabrics on the sides, and a white tablecloth in the center. On this tablecloth, Cézanne has placed a jug and a bowl containing oranges and apples, creating a dynamic and somewhat disordered composition. The artist's innovative approach to perspective is evident in the way he depicts objects from multiple viewpoints, contributing to the painting's sense of movement and depth. Cézanne's masterful use of color and his emphasis on the texture of objects, such as the different feel of apples and oranges, are also remarkable. The intricate arrangement of objects and the employment of contrasting warm and cold tones add to the overall richness of the painting, reinforcing Cézanne's influence on the development of modern art, particularly Cubism. Apples and Oranges is now part of the Musée d'Orsay collection in Paris. Christ in Limbo. A seminal work in Paul Cézanne's early career, Christ in Limbo is a painting that exemplifies the artist's exploration of traditional themes with a unique interpretative twist. Completed in 1867, this piece reflects Cézanne's deep interest in religious subjects, interpreted through his personal artistic lens. Christ in Limbo was originally part of a larger mural composition intended to decorate the family home, Jas de Buffon, near Aix-en-Provence. The painting depicts a scene from Christian theology, where Christ descends into limbo, a place where the souls of the just from the old scriptures await redemption. The work is notable for its bold use of color and dramatic lighting, influenced by the tenebrism of Sebastiano del Piombo. The painting is now housed at the Musée d'Orsay in Paris, where it remains a symbol of Cézanne's precocious talent and early artistic experiments. The piece is characterized by its vibrant impasto, with red, blue, and white hues applied in broad brushstrokes against a black background, showcasing Cézanne's desire to develop a personal dramatic style while still acknowledging the influence of his predecessors. Dish of Apples. Dish of Apples, completed around 1876–77, marks a pivotal moment in Paul Cézanne's exploration of still-life painting, showcasing his rejection of intense contrasts in favor of refined, subtly gradated tonal variations. This early work demonstrates Cézanne's interest in capturing the essence of everyday objects, a theme that would become a hallmark of his artistic career. In Dish of Apples, Cézanne carefully balances color and composition to create a sense of harmony. The painting features a dish of apples set against a muted background, with the artist's use of subtle color gradations adding depth and dimensionality to the scene. This approach reflects Cézanne's belief that painting should not merely imitate nature, but rather interpret it through the artist's own perceptions and feelings. As a precursor to his later still-life works, Dish of Apples showcases Cézanne's evolving style and artistic philosophy, which would profoundly influence the development of modern art. Cézanne's work in Dish of Apples also exemplifies his focus on the physical and visual qualities of paint and canvas, highlighting the materiality of the painting process. This emphasis on texture and the inherent qualities of the medium adds another layer of complexity to the work. Boy in a Red Vest building on the refined color gradations and emphasis on texture seen in Dish of Apples, Paul Cézanne's Boy in a Red Vest presents a striking portrait that underscores the artist's evolving understanding of form and composition. This painting, created between 1888 and 1890, is one of a series of 4 portraits of an Italian professional model named Michelangelo di Rosa. The most famous version, currently held in the Foundation E.G. Bührle in Zurich, portrays the boy in a melancholic seated pose with his elbow on a table and his head cradled in his hand. The composition is marked by intersecting diagonals, including the angle of the boy's back, the deep green curtain, and the table, creating a balanced and harmonious structure. Cézanne's use of color is notable, with rich, dense tones and a focus on contrast between the vibrant red vest and the cooler blues and greens in the background. The painting reflects Cézanne's admiration for traditional portrait painting, while also showcasing his innovative approach to color and form, making it a significant work in his oeuvre. A modern Olympia following the refined explorations of form and color in Boy in a Red Vest, Paul Cézanne's A Modern Olympia presents a bold and provocative work that challenges traditional representations of the nude. Painted around 1873-74, this piece is a homage to Edouard Manet's controversial 1863 painting, Olympia, which had caused a scandal with its direct and unromanticized depiction of a nude woman. Cézanne's version adds a new layer of intrigue by including the client, often interpreted as a self-portrait, who gazes at the woman with a mixture of fervor and detachment. The contrast between the woman's nudity and the man's refined attire heightens the erotic and theatrical elements of the scene. The painting's use of bright, luminous colors and its departure from traditional compositional techniques further underscore its innovative spirit. Displayed at the first Impressionist exhibition in 1874, A Modern Olympia was met with derision and criticism, yet its daring approach to subject matter and execution has since been recognized as a precursor to the Expressionist movement. Today it resides at the Musée d'Orsay in Paris. And there you have it, the 10 most famous works of Paul Cézanne. From The Card Players to Mont Sainte-Victoire, each piece showcases his genius and influence on modern art. If you enjoyed this exploration, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more artistic adventures. Share your favorite Cézanne painting in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and keep celebrating creativity.